Hey, what's up guys? My name is Fire, and today I'm going to be talking about some cool jumps that you could do in CSGO and some pretty cool spots you could get to, and I pretty much guarantee you guys didn't know about all of these, and some of these jumps are honestly too hard for me to even do. But today I'm going to be showing you guys all of them and what they could pretty much accomplish for you. First of all, we're going to start with Mirage. As pretty much all of you know, there's the window jump from window to short. This is a pretty cool jump for getting to short a lot faster, and I mean a lot faster, because normally you would have to run all the way around through mid, back around short, and it just wastes a lot of time. And learning this jump will get you there a lot faster, especially if you have to retake or help your teammate. The same pretty much goes for the ladder room jump. It's the same thing, except some people consider it easier. I've been doing the window jump pretty much the whole time, so I just consider that easier. And you have to break the ladder to get into ladder room, which is always a pain, and the short jump doesn't make a lot of noise, so I'd consider that one better, but a lot of people seem to consider it harder. These next jumps aren't the most useful, but there's some pretty cool things you could do. You could actually jump into the second window at B from like the balcony, and you could also self-boost on the site, which a lot of people didn't know about. It isn't exactly a jump, but it's a cool spot you can get to. Another thing you can do is actually bhop through the rat hole at window. Now this is extremely hard to do and is definitely going to take a lot of practice, but if done right, you could just go flying through jungle and just kill the guy. If somebody's holding it, they're screwed, man. If they just see a guy coming in at like 90 miles per hour, they'd probably just disconnect. I'm going to be honest with you. Next up, we have a fast palace entrance at A. This one's pretty easy. All you have to do is crouch jump onto the default box, jump again, and then just jump onto the balcony. Not only does this get you into palace a lot faster, but it's also a lot more quiet. Going up the ladder is probably one of the loudest things you could do, and if one of your teammates is trying to go under palace and hold from there, it's probably the most annoying thing you could do too. But for our final thing on Mirage, we have you could jump over the palace railing in T-spawn. This is once again something probably a lot of you knew, but if not, this video is kind of for like some of the newer people in CSGO. Some of you might not know this, but this can help you get into palace a lot faster if you want to rotate there from T-ramp, and yeah, it is a pretty cool jump. But next up, we actually have cache. Now there is some extremely hard jumps on cache, and they are gonna take a lot of practice to do. So I wouldn't recommend just going right into a competitive match and trying to do some of these jumps, because they are not the easiest. But first of all, we have the boost above mid. You could actually get on, I don't even know what the name of it would be, like the bars above, or I guess below the windows at mid. It's a pretty cool spot. It does take it makes a lot of noise to get up there. But if you're in a lower rank, a lot of people don't expect it, and I don't believe they could see your shadow even if you're directly above it. So yeah, it's a definitely really cool spot. Maybe you'll get like 2 kills from it, but probably not much more. And next up, we have the self boost shroud at A. This is a pretty simple jump. It does look kind of scary at first, but once you do it once, you're pretty much going to do it every time, because the strafe jump isn't really that far, and it's a really cool spot to get to. Although opening squeaky that way isn't really the easiest, and you would have to do it extremely fast into the round, and whoever goes squeaky might risk dying, but it's a really cool spot if you could pull it off. You can also boost onto the lamps at A. I don't really know why you would want to do this. If the T's took B and you're trying to save at A, I guarantee you'll get at least 1 kill from it. But besides that, it's not really the most useful spot. It's a cool spot you can get to though. Going over to the B site, you could actually do some cool jumps on top of the boxes and see into sunroom, and you could see if somebody's in there, and if you actually get a teammate onto the second box with you, you can boost up there and easily kill the guy in sunroom. It's a really cool spot, except it makes a ton of noise. And also, if you're boosting and somebody pushes like B main, a T pushes B main, you're both screwed. So it's pretty risky, but it could definitely get you a kill. And going back to mid, you could actually self boost onto the boost spot at mid. This jump took me about like 10 minutes to do because my movement is kinda doo-doo. But if I had to give a tip to getting up here, it would be at the first part of the jump, if you stay to the right side of like the bar thing, it's a lot easier to strafe over to this spot. And the second part, make sure you're running forward at the beginning and then you strafe jump left. That makes it a lot easier, and I don't even know if it's possible to do without doing that. But this is probably the most useful self boost in the, well, maybe not the most useful, but it's a really useful self boost in the game, and you should definitely learn how to do it. And finally, going into T-spawn, you can actually get onto the crate, but for some reason, I don't know if it's only on 128 tick servers, but I couldn't seem to do it. I know it's extremely easy to do on 128 tick servers, and you could actually get onto a triple box at Mirage while doing this too if you just do a simple crouch jump, but for some reason, it just doesn't want to work for me on 64 tick. And you could actually get on the stop sign and T-spawn too, and you could easily hold for a B main push. I recommend having an op. Just tell like all your teammates to go A, you'll say A, I'll hold B. You pretty much 100% of the time get a free kill from it, because nobody ever clears it, if I'm going to be honest with you, and it's a really cool spot. And next up we have Inferno. Inferno is literally the hardest map to do these self boosts on. There's some insane things to do. I tried a few of these jumps for 15 minutes and couldn't even get them. But first of all, we'll start simple. There is a self boost in T-spawn. If you're saving your gun, you could maybe catch off a player in this position because nobody really clears it. They might be able to see your feet, so it might be a kind of pain, but it's a cool spot to get to. Going to second mid, there's a few jumps you could do. These are pretty obvious. I mean, I just put them in the video just in case anybody didn't know them, but there is some pretty cool jumps you could do at second mid. They're pretty simple and they get you to where you want to go a lot faster. And now this is probably one of the harder jumps that we're going to get into. You could actually go from balcony to porch on A site. Now this is really hard to do, but once you get it the first time, it becomes a lot easier. To do this, I recommend standing on the bars and trying to strafe jump from there. I think that's the only way possible to do it, but make sure you get enough momentum and then you strafe onto the first ledge, and then you pretty much are done from there. You just do a few simple jumps, you don't even have to strafe, and you're pretty much on the porch. So yeah, it's a really cool spot to get to. You could normally like boost a player onto there, but doing it by yourself makes it a lot cooler. But next up we have the Haze jump. Now Haze is the player that I guess originally did this jump, and I'm gonna be honest, I have no clue how to do it. I tried for about 20 minutes on this jump and could not do it. There's like a single pixel you can get onto, and I just could not find it. One of my friends actually did it though, and that's the footage you're seeing right here. But if you manage to get this jump, feel free to leave a comment telling me how you did it, because I just don't know what I'm doing wrong, man. Going into CT spawn, there's a few cool jumps you could do. They're not that useful, but you could definitely catch off a player going into these positions. Not really much more to say about that, but the first jump is kind of hard. There's a few pixels you could get onto, but it's weird. Going onto the B site, this is another jump that I just don't understand how he did it. Alige actually did this jump in a professional match against, I believe it was Fnatic. They were pushing the B site. He was like, okay, I gotta do something. This man goes onto the fountain and jumps on the new box. I, once again, do not know how to do this. You have to get a really long strafe jump, so if you're good at KZ, this is probably easy for you. Bread and butter, easy peasy. But for the life of me, I just couldn't figure out how to do it. But yeah, this is a pretty cool spot if you do figure out how to get it for yourself. And for our final spot you could get to on Inferno, we have the jump on the half wall. Now you could either do this by like getting into the wide open and just jumping on it. You could get boosted by a teammate, or you could actually bhop onto it by yourself. The bhop is kind of hard to hit, but if you do, you just want to crouch after you hit it and you'll get on top of the half wall without being that really much seen. Like if you smoke down banana, it's a pretty cool spot you could get to. But next up we're going to go on the cobblestone. Now there actually isn't really any spots you could get to on cobblestone, but a lot of you are probably wondering, hey, can't you self boost on the tree at B? Well, from what I've seen, you actually can't do it anymore, because there's like a ledge or like a pixel or something, or a brick or something that keeps hitting your head when you try to bounce off of the spot in which you normally got the tree from. And I even turned auto bhop on to see if I could bhop from the like ledge on the tree, and I just don't think it's possible. But if it is, feel free to leave a comment, but I just couldn't find any videos of it or see if it was possible or not. But for our next map we have overpass. Now these are all pretty simple. There's not really too many insane things to do on this map. There is one really cool thing which I'll get into, but first of all, you could self boost onto the half wall at long. I'm pretty sure all of you knew this, but it is a pretty powerful position. If you do have an op, you could usually win the fight if you jump onto that half wall, plus it is a really simple jump. And next up, this isn't really a jump, but you could surf on pretty much like any wall in the map around the B side, so you could go flying around corners if you know how to surf properly, which I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know how to surf, but it is cool if you do know how to do it. And another thing that isn't really a jump, you could get stuck on the balloons in party. Now the hitboxes for them are really weird. Like you could be to the left of them and they just still for some reason want to bump into your head. But yeah, I think you can actually get stuck in mid-air and like hold the angle from that, but I just couldn't figure out how to do it. But it is a pretty cool, I guess, trick or glitch. I don't know if it's meant to be like that. And actually, I have another thing that isn't really a jump, but I figured a lot of you would be asking this, is how to get into B sight from heaven without taking damage. And all you actually have to do is just make sure you jump into the water and not on the land. I always see a lot of people jumping on the land and just losing a lot of health from it, and I'm like, what are you doing, man? All you gotta do is jump in the water. So yeah, it is pretty simple. But for our final thing that is actually a boost, in connector you could actually get onto like the air vents, and this is a pretty useful spot because let's face it, nobody's gonna clear this. You just pop a smoke in front of it and try and do the jump. It actually isn't that hard. You just really have to strafe and then crouch jump, and it's not really that hard. And once you get up there, nobody's gonna have a clue what's going on the T side, so you could probably get 1 or 2 free kills from it. Going on to our second to last map, we actually have train. Now there's not really a ton of things to do on this map. The only thing I could really think of is a self boost Z from A train. This isn't really a hard jump, but you might get caught on the wall, but once you figure out how to get past that, you could easily get into Z and catch out a guy that's normally just sitting in the corner at C. It's a pretty cool thing to do. And the only other really thing I found at train is, well, first of all, I just want to say you could get onto the top of the train at B site, but I figured pretty much everybody knows how to do that, so I just won't talk about that. But the final thing I found is you could actually boost onto the faucets and showers if you crouch jump, which is a really cool spot to get into because nobody's gonna pre-aim it. I actually found this in one of my matchmaking games. I was just messing around in there and I was like, whoa, why can't I get stuck on this? But yeah, it's really weird. I don't know why it's a thing, but yeah, you could, if you're having fun in the showers with a buddy, that sounded okay. Well, you know what? Next map, man. Okay, for our final map, we have Dust 2, and there actually isn't a ton of things you could do on this map, but first of all, you could get onto the box and CT spawn, which I'm sure all of you knew already, but it's a pretty cool spot, and usually when teams execute mid, they smoke CT, and you could actually see above the smoke if you're on the box, or you could get boosted onto the other box by a teammate, and it's a really cool spot to get to, and it could punch the T's very much. And for our final spot to get to, we have the, I don't even know how this is possible, but for some reason you could just get on like an invisible barrier at Xbox and get up there a lot faster. I believe you have to crouch to do it as you do for most of these jumps, but I mean, it's a faster way to get onto Xbox and nobody's really going to be holding it from that angle, so you might catch somebody off. But that pretty much does wrap up this entire video, guys, so thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and also I got a new mic. I don't know if you guys could tell. I hope it sounds good because I just spent like 20 minutes recording this, and if the audio is bad, that is not going to be fun. But yeah, that pretty much is it for this video, guys, so thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.